Women in decision-making roles can't actually say, not in this country, this is a story that must be told on television. We don't have that sort of power. But because we are in decision-making roles, we become very visible to the country. It's really exciting to have women as creators of content, because I think that they are hungry, because there have been an audience in the past that has been ignored.
The television industry that I had come from was quite hierarchical, and I'd come through the state broadcasting system, which was a very traditional and male-dominated management system that I'd been a part of. And in the new media industry, it was kind of like pioneering days, starting from scratch, sowing the first seeds. But the really amazing thing about the new media industry is that because you don't have like a broadcaster to broadcast your projects, you're doing things that are commissioned for clients. It might be for a museum, it might be for a corporate client, or it might even be something that we've initiated, which will be a piece of product or a project that we will sell and get royalty income from. So we're very much in control of what we do, and I think that's a big difference.
The whole idea behind Papa on Screen was to create quite a large multimedia intranet, so that visitors to the museum, when they came in, they saw an exhibit on display, wanted to find out more about it, because there's only so much information you can get across in a label. The idea was that the label would refer them to the discovery centres, or more specifically the research rooms, and they'd come in here, and in all the discovery centres there's a bank of computers, and they can go into exhibitions, and there's all the major exhibitions that are out on the floor. I find it really difficult to say where the web is going. I don't know that any of us know, because every day, every month, it just changes, and is changing so radically. But thinking about women's role in the whole web development area, I think the web has opened up a whole new channel for communication and information exchange. Before the internet, we had film, we had television, we had print. And while women were a great audience for those media, very few had opportunities to be involved on the production side. And so what the web has done, I think, it's just created so much more opportunities for women in all levels of organisations, companies, and as individuals to be involved in producing content for the web.
Web Girls was a group that I set up in New Zealand in 1996. And initially, with just a small ad in the paper, I called a meeting in a cafe in Wellington, and 22 women showed up, which was really surprising and really amazing. And it was quite empowering to have that physical contact with women who were working in that industry. I think that an interesting development with the technology of the internet, particularly now, is that the focus on what's a distinguishing factor for successful websites, for successful content, for a good development using this technology is about the content that's in it, and that, if you like, provides opportunities for women.
My particular areas of interest is how human beings, whether they are women, men, can use the technologies to empower themselves and give them the capacity to communicate, to connect, and to achieve in whatever their enterprise is. I believe that very strongly, this is my belief, that technology is only a tool. English is much more than a language, it is a technology in itself. So most of the internet textual databases are in English. Our navigational tools, meta search engines are mostly, almost 99%, North American. And I think if cultures want to actually explore the internet to its maximum, make use of it for their own narratives, their own stories, their own codification of their signs, their symbols, their communication protocols, then it is essential that we develop appropriate search engines to look at our databases.
I think that the way stories develop through oral history and sort of Indigenous cultures is particularly interesting, and the way you can hear one story one way and then the same story with a different slant on it, and part of that story from one person and part of that story from another person in a really non-linear way. I think it lends itself very well to the kind of storytelling that could happen on the internet, or where you get something that's almost like a big brain with lots of ideas coming from different directions and the whole thing being broken up in a very non-linear way. I found that really interesting.
When did you last wash your feet, soldier? I will not condone smelling feet.
Got into computers firstly as a user. I went on IRC a lot, which is Internet Relay Chat, where you sort of get to talk to people in real time by typing on the computer. It was great fun. But when the novelty wore off, I started to go on the web and just find a lot of information about other musicians that I liked, see what they were doing and things. And I was aware that it was probably really easy to get my own stuff up on the web and a really good means of getting your music out there. So I set about figuring out how to do it, which was great fun. And then after that, I actually got into it on a professional level. I'm doing electronic and software engineering, which is, well, it's a whole lot of stuff, from microcomputers up to high-level languages, down to electronics, diodes and stuff like that. So it covers a broad range of technology. Yep. My favourite is assembler. It's really fun. It's cool. Basically, I see new media as an opportunity for women. Like I said before, just opening up gateways to things that it was hard to do previously. For me, that means, playing instruments I can't play via technology, and for other people, just doing a whole lot more with what they were already doing. So I think that's something that is useful to everyone, but particularly for women, to actually get out there and just do it and not be scared to do it.
The information and communications technologies have great potential for empowerment of women, and particularly by sharing information. If women are connected, they will be able to share information and their experiences and their stories with other women. And in countries like Fiji and the South Pacific, while we have our own problems, we have our own nature of while we have our own nature of problems, it would also be good to listen to and witness the problems of women from other parts of the world. Fiji would be connected to Australia, New Zealand, Hawaii and USA by the Southern Cross cable, and that is going to begin in a couple of months. The Southern Cross cable has huge capacity. I see the technology as the key role in sharing of information, and the information is the power. If when we talk of empowerment, what it means is to give people enough power so that they do understand what they are doing and they can make their own decisions. So I see that the information and communications technology has that power to bring information to women in order to empower them.
If I have some fears about technology, is that it is because people become information rich and others information poor. And that poverty comes from two areas. One, they don't get access to the new technology. They don't get access to the computers. They don't get access to the digital cameras. They don't get access to the way of transmission of the programs of the future. So it's very important that that is accessible to people.
Information is not knowledge, but using information to create knowledge, to apply that knowledge to real life problems, that is the key.